is my third stop here, so met a whole bunch of people in the city, and I appreciate it. I want to thank Pam, first of all, for letting me in her home. I take that seriously. I don't take it lightly that people let you in their house. I'm humbled and honored by that because I won't let anybody in my house. So I appreciate that she's let me in her home. She got a little cake and cookies for me over there. I appreciate that. And I appreciate all of you for being here. And those who've been to, this is your third stop with me today. I appreciate you hanging out with me from the beginning to the end. It means a lot to me. You know, especially down here in Atlantic City. I came down here, you know, didn't know what to expect. Some of you guys been with me from the first stop to the second stop to the third stop. You know, so I appreciate you. I think we're in a critical time, and I'm gonna just talk real plain right now like that. I'm thankful to end the night in Pam's home, right? And I think we live in a very critical and dangerous moment that we're in right now. Right? You know, last year at this time, I announced that I was running for governor at the Trenton War Memorial, Black History Month. Trenton War Memorial, sat there and announced it. When I got there, I didn't know, honestly, that I was going to say what I said, right? Didn't nobody know that I was going to say that I'm running for governor. My wife didn't know. Nobody knew. We talked about it. When it was over, she's like, I didn't know you was going to say that then. I was like, neither did I. But, you know, the moment came over me, and, you know, I began to talk about the things that affected us personally, our family, our community, and it came out to the point that, you know, if anybody else was in our situation that we're in and the things that we've done in the city of Newark, in the difficult times that we had, with the innovation that we had, that if I wanted to be the governor, I have a right to be the governor as well. And so that was in my heart and my mind, so I said that out loud, like, I have the right to be the governor of the state of New Jersey, and I'm going to be the governor of the state of New Jersey. And that came out. And it's different because people look at that differently because maybe we don't think we have that right, but we do. The amount of work and the blood and the sweat and tears that we've paid, not just in this country, but the work that I've done in Newark to right-size the economy there, to give people opportunity to create affordable housing, to wrestle the schools back from the state and put it back in the hands of the people there, to be creative enough to create home ownership and invest in business and people in that city, to bring businesses from the outer parts of Newark and bring them downtown Newark and help them open up their business and spread their wings in the city, to put businesses in the city, in the airport. Never had any black businesses or brown businesses or any businesses in the airport in the city of Newark. Began to put them in the airport, began to put them in Gateway, began to open up the city so that people could benefit from the growth and the renaissance that was happening in the city. And I felt like it was an opportunity for us to do this statewide, that we could do these things statewide, that we don't have to walk around with our head down or feeling hopeless or helpless, that we can actually change what's going on in the state and change what's happening for our families and our families after us. And I think that people who came before us did that. You know, they did that without apology. They did that without asking for you know, support or help or permission. Right? They did the things that they want to do. My family are from the Carolinas. They came up here. They didn't ask permission to do anything. Right? My grandfather, my father's father, shined shoes in a barbershop before he became a postal worker, because that was the only job that they gave us at those times. Right. And a postal worker was a prestigious job then. He was part of the middle class. That's right. He was a postal worker. He became a postal worker. His wife, my grandmother, became a social worker. And them together, they became like high society in Newark. They raised my dad, and their grandson became the mayor of the state's largest city. My father was on his deathbed passing out literature to people in Beth Israel Hospital, saying, my son is running for mayor. And I told him, them people can't vote for me. they don't live in Newark. But he was passing out the flyers anyway, and he passed away in January. I got sworn in that July. So a few months after that, I got sworn in, you know, and his father came from the South, and they've been through all of that, and this opportunity was made available to me. So I feel like that I have a responsibility to do the things that we're doing, not just in Newark, but statewide for other families.
How do you feel about this boycott on the 28th?
I think it's right, but let me get to that. So I think my family is not unique, right? I think that there are thousands of people in this state who has the same story that I have, right? Other black families, other Latin families, other families from around the world who ventured to the port city of Newark and try to make something better for their families to improve their lives. Because we advertise to the world that America has the greatest democracy they ever saw. So people traveled all over the world. Now we angry that people have come here. It doesn't make any sense, right? And we advertise that this is the place for you to go to experience your dreams. Our families came from the South with everything they had in brown paper bags and cornbread and chicken because they couldn't stop at Denny's on the way. And they landed, you know, in shoeboxes. That's right. And you know, my family, the conductor said, "Welcome to Newark." They thought they said New York, so they got off the train. And we've been stuck in Newark ever since. But you know, at the end of the day, that's not just our story. It's a whole bunch of people's story.
That's right.
They came to the port city looking for opportunity. That's it. They weren't looking for handouts. They're looking for special treatment. They was looking to be treated fairly, and obstacles removed out of their way, so they get an opportunity to do something for their families and make their families have better lives, to own a home, to have a business, to grow their business, and not be discriminated against because their race, their nationality, the language they speak. And so our families, my family, they had to be proactive. You know, they had to be radical in some sense. They had to take control of their own destiny, to build the things that they wanted to see, to create opportunity for themselves. That's why the state of New Jersey invests less than 1% of its procurement resources in black, brown, and women businesses. But it ain't stopped us. So we not complaining. And, you know, recently I said, they're telling us they want to take away DEI, but how you take away something we never had? Right? So, you know, at the end of the day, you never gave us the opportunity. So if you're spending less than 1% of the procurement dollars on black, brown, and women businesses, which are the fastest growing businesses in this country, and you're not giving us the resources, and we're still growing, there's something to be said about that. Something to be said about Latino businesses being 20% of the labor force in the state of New Jersey with no support or help or investment, right? That I can open up a business with everything that I have, you know, which is very little, with the sweat on my brow, my hands, you know, my will, and open up a business and hire. That's why it's 20% of the labor force, because we're going to hire the people in our community to work there. And if I didn't have this business, then people wouldn't have a job. They didn't have a job. They couldn't feed their family. They couldn't pay rent. This was make the economy grow. So my little old business that I made with my bare hands, with no support, no capital from a bank, no investment from a bank, no incubator from a incubator, you know, venture capitalist, you know, no insurance, you know, none of those things. I did this stuff on my own, barely with a business license and a permit. Halfway in, somebody came to my business and said, "You need a business license." I said, "Damn, I've been open for 5 years." You know what I mean? Let me go get my business license, but they shut me down with no support. And you done hired 15 people in the neighborhood. Right. You done hired 15 people, but there's no support. And so when you're giving money to these big corporations to come into the state, and we're giving them $100 million to move from one part of the state to the next part of the state under the state of New Jersey, because that's what we do. All you gotta do is threaten to leave New Jersey, they'll give you a big cash out to go to another city. So one place moves from one place and go to Camden, they get $200 million. We don't even need $200 million. I'm telling you, we just want $20,000. Give me 15, I'm good. Right? We just want to keep the lights on, hire 2 or 3 more employees, expand our thing. We go to Atlantic City and Pleasantville. We'll be in both places, right? Just give us the support we need, and we'll make that happen. But people can't see, you know, that's important for our economy, because they still have old thinking and old ways, and relying on a strategy that's broken, right? A philosophy and an ideology that's outdated, that's crushed. That's why we fighting over diversity, equity, and inclusion in a state. In 50, 60, 70 years ago, in 1860, that might have been okay for you to say, when the population was 90% white.
Right.
In New Jersey, the population is 45% non-white. That means that most people classify as people of color or mixed race. So this concept of not supporting diversity is economic suicide. That you can't have an economy that excludes half of the population. This doesn't make any sense, right? You can't have a labor force that excludes half of the population. You can't grow and exclude half of the population. It doesn't make. It's not just about social justice. It's just stupid, right? And so we need to be investing in families. And families in New Jersey are not the same as they were 50, 60 years ago. So as a matter of fact, I was in Monmouth and white women came to me and said, I'm a white lady. My grandchildren are Dominican.
Wow.
What am I supposed to do? Keep them out of the house? That's what she said to me. So I'm like, she said, I mean, it don't make sense. I don't know how to arrange the things y'all arranging today. Like, it doesn't make sense for me because at this point, we're not New Jersey families, we eat black-eyed peas and cornbread. Mango and, and plantanos. We eat different things, black rice and conch. Right? So our families are mixed up. And so it's important for us to have an economy that's inclusive. And I think that's what Kamala Harris was trying to say. That we need to have an opportunity economy, she called it. But I call it an inclusive one. We need to have an economy that's not exclusive, that we're keeping people out of it. We need everybody to be a part of what we're doing here. We need to be invested in all these communities. If our communities look bad and we have not invested in them, all of the results of that, high crime, high unemployment, healthcare bills that through the roof, all these things that drive and cost up because we refuse to invest in families. People ask you, how do you bring inflation down, or how do you make the economy better? You invest in people.
Yeah.
You invest in families. You invest in people. You invest in workforce development. You give them an opportunity to create pipelines through high school and community college so they can have access to the labor market and jobs that are growing in industries where there are gaps. You invest in small businesses so they have the chance to stay open and grow, so they can, expand, right? And they can invite other businesses to your community. You invest in infrastructure, transportation infrastructure, number one, to make sure people have access to jobs and access to opportunity. You invest in those things, right? So you're not in a state like New Jersey where there are farmers in New Jersey who can't grow the crops we need because they can't hire the employees. All this stuff is connected. So, they can't hire the employees, so they can't grow the crops that they need, and you don't have the transportation infrastructure to get the crops to communities or produce to communities where you need. So you got 50 food deserts in the state of New Jersey, in the Garden State.
Can I say something?
Yeah, you can.